We're going to begin. We bought a lorry today. A story from It's a Rum Life, Book 4, Northcote, 1994 to 2008. This actual story happened in February 2001. Trina and John had been on at me for some time. When are we going to get something to pull that trailer? The trailer is not exactly a normal horse box. It's 20 feet long, 8 feet high and about 9 feet high inside. It must weigh over a ton. Previously, it was used to carry the wedding carriage and one horse. It would also take about 120 bales of hay, 3.5 tons. The trailer was basically all we had at the Northcote Heavy Horse Centre to cart anything about. It was being used only very locally at present, pulled by the centre's agricultural tractor. The long-wheelbase Safari Land Rover that used to tow it had been previously specially converted. It had a 3-litre Ford Essex V6 petrol engine that did 28 mpg running without a trailer and 9 mpg with the trailer and full load. But it would pull it, and in top gear too. The Land Rover had died of rustworm several years ago, and we just did not have any funds to replace it. Why a lorry? Well, after a Land Rover and trailer hit the national headlines earlier this year by running off the road near Doncaster and derailing an express train, killing a large number of folk, we had been thinking again. A lorry was what we really needed, something with a large capacity engine and not expensive. I had seen one in the Farmer's Guardian, but it was in Lancashire. Foot and mouth was all over the West Country and North West at this time, but not in Lancashire. If we were going to do anything, it had to be quick. A week or so passed, and I said nothing. Could we really afford £500? Friday arrived and John was day off. They both tackled me again, so I told them about this lorry. Within the hour we had phoned, and it was still there. We're all very democratic here at Northcote. The majority decision was go for it, if it is any good at all. We're off. We took the little red Subaru truck, and by 2 p.m. had arrived at Garstang, Lancashire. By gum, it is hilly up there. Right on the edge of the moors, almost on the way back into Yorkshire, we found the mill. The lorry had been used for local deliveries, but recently they had been encouraging farmers to collect for themselves more and more. It was a curtain-sider, 16-foot body, but the cab was filthy. Inside, that is. The lorry ran well, big 6-cylinder engine, and its maintenance record was up to date despite not being taxed for 6 months. It was out of test too, but I suppose you can't have everything for £500. We did the deal, loaded the little red truck into the back of the curtain-sider and drove home. About 300 miles. We hadn't had time to tell my wife Ruth. She was the wage earner in our marriage. She was expecting me to be at home, and coward that I am, I asked John to phone her and explain that we had been delayed. He explained it like this. John: we've been held up. Ruth: held up where? John: in Lancashire. You can imagine Ruth's tone. Lancashire, she choked. Where are you now? John: well, somewhere south of Ferrybridge on the A1. John was not one to let it all out at once. Ruth: what are you doing on the A1? John: well, Keith is driving a lorry. Ruth: a lorry? What on earth is he driving a lorry for? John: well, we've bought it. You can imagine the explosion at the other end. What do you want a lorry for? Or words to that effect followed. John kindly finished with something like, Keith will explain when we get home, before the phone at the other end was dropped loudly. The explanation was relatively easy, after I had had the rest of the journey to think about the problem. "Well, you see," it went, "John and Tarina," and finished with something about the Land Rover wrecking the express train and us not wanting to do something similar. All seems to have ended well so far, as in March, Novartis at Immingham approached us to do a display at their summer celebrations in July and sent us a cheque for £400 in advance. In fact, it has been a further good thing, as we have been to 3 displays using the lorry and trailer and even managed to dislocate my shoulder at one in the process. We hope you've enjoyed this story. It's brought to you by Cracker Books, written and read by Keith Sanders. You'll find lots more information and short stories on our site. Keith Sanders is thestoryman.wordpress.com. There's more free audio stories on buzzsprout.com/245113. There's free videos to watch on Keith Sanders, the Short Story Man on YouTube. There is also a shop where our books, complete books with lots of stories, are available in audio form, PDF or ebook. And that is richardkeithsanders.selz.com. Thank you for listening.